All right, let's dive into this Drake freestyle that's got everybody talking. You know the one I mean. It's stirred up a real hornet's nest, hasn't it?
Yeah, some serious debate going down, all from one freestyle.
Yeah. Is Drake just coasting on his fame, or is there more to it? Let's see.
Right. I mean, he's been a major player for what feels like forever, so this laid back style is throwing some people off.
Definitely. To get into this, let's check out what our sources say. First up, we have Benjamin, a host from the Rap Debate podcast. He did not mince words, straight up called it lazy, no hesitation.
Benjamin doesn't hold back, does he? Says it's missing the substance, the lyrical depth, the Drake we're used to. He even thinks it's more marketing than art.
Oof, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
Being accused of selling out, that's a serious accusation. Especially when you compare it to, like, Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole. Those are lyrical heavyweights.
Right, that's his whole point. Benjamin's worried Drake's not pushing himself anymore, comparing him to Kendrick and Cole, who are always raising the bar.
Okay, so one side says lazy, uninspired. What about the other side?
Well, Benjamin's co-host, Transcript the Truth, they had a different take. They were like, hold on, Drake's been at the top for ages. He's earned the right to chill a bit, you know?
Yeah, it's like you climb Everest, you don't have to climb K2 just to prove a point, right?
Exactly. They're saying Drake can explore different things. Maybe this is just him trying a more relaxed, relatable vibe, but still connecting with his huge fan base.
And keeping your fans happy, that's vital, right?
Absolutely. And Transcript the Truth points out Drake's always been great at tapping into what's hot, what people relate to, especially younger listeners. So maybe the simpler style is a way to connect with a certain crowd who value that more than complex lyrics.
That's an interesting point. But let's get back to the music itself. Opinions aside, what's in the freestyle?
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. When you actually break it down, you see things that back up both sides.
Oh, I'm curious now. What do you mean?
Drake's flow, it's different. It's way more conversational, almost like he's just thinking out loud, which is really different from his usual structured, complex stuff.
So you could say that's lazy, like he didn't bother crafting rhymes. But then again,
Or maybe it's on purpose, choosing to sound more natural, more authentic over technical skill. Like, he's letting us into his head, you know? I getcha.
what about the words themselves? Anything there that tells us more?
Well, lyrically, it's definitely less complicated than his usual wordplay. But even in the simplicity, there are these hints of something deeper.
Like what? Give me an example.
There's this one line, he says, they say I changed. Maybe I did. Maybe it's growth. It's like tucked away in there. But it feels like he's heard the criticism and he's addressing it. Like, yeah, maybe I've changed, but is that a bad thing?
Yeah, it's like he knows people are talking and he's not shying away from it.
All right. It gets to the core of it all, doesn't it? Is Drake just evolving or has he lost that spark?
It's a big question.
Mm.
You know, if Benjamin's right and Drake's not pushing himself, where does that leave him? I mean, we've seen it before. Artists get comfortable, the fire goes out, and they fade away.
Exactly. Benjamin's worried about that. The rap game is competitive. New guys are always coming up hungry, like Kendrick and Cole. They're always innovating.
So if Drake isn't keeping up, could he get left behind?
Yeah.
Eclipsed by the next big thing?
It's possible. Look at the guys who stay relevant for years. Jay-Z, Eminem, Kanye. They all had to change, reinvent themselves to stay ahead. They took risks, even if it meant losing some fans.
But isn't that what makes a great artist? That willingness to evolve. If you just keep doing the same thing, it gets boring, predictable.
Definitely. And that's where Transcript the Truth's point gets interesting. They say Drake's style has changed, but maybe it's on purpose, a way to reach a different audience, maybe younger fans who like authenticity more than crazy rhymes.
So are they saying Drake's playing a different game now? Not going for lyrical genius, but for a more emotional connection?
Yeah, maybe. And that makes you think about how hip-hop itself is changing. Is lyrical skill still the most important thing? Or is it about relatability, authenticity, tapping into the culture?
It's complicated. We can get caught up in the technical stuff, the flow, the rhymes, but at the end of the day, music is about feeling something.
Mm-hmm.
So if Drake can do that with this new style, even if it's simpler, who's to say it's not real hip-hop?
That's a good point. Maybe Drake's not trying to outdo Kendrick or Kanye. Maybe he's doing his own thing, valuing different things, connecting with his audience differently.
But doesn't that bring us back to Benjamin's worry about complacency? If Drake's not striving for lyrical greatness, isn't there a risk he stagnates? How do you stay relevant in a genre that's always moving forward?
That is the question, isn't it? And every artist in any genre has to face it. How do you stay true to yourself while evolving? keeping up with the industry and your fans.
It's a balancing act, that's for sure. Even Jay-Z, Eminem, Kanye, they've all had their ups and downs, times where they weren't as creative. But they managed to come back, find new ways to stay relevant, keep pushing their boundaries.
And that's what makes this whole Drake discussion so interesting. It's bigger than just one freestyle. It's about how artists deal with success, stay true to themselves while growing.
It's about finding that balance between what's familiar and what's new, giving fans what they love, and challenging them with something different. So, where does Drake fit into all of this? Is he happy to just coast on his past hits, or is he still driven to push himself, to explore new creative ground?
That's the question. And to answer it, we have to look at his whole career, the choices he's made, the risks that he's taken, what he's building.
Maybe this freestyle is a clue. It might not be the Drake we expect, the intricate rhymes and wordplay, but it could be a new phase for him, one that values a different kind of connection, a different kind of truth.
It's a bold move, that's for sure. Only time will tell if it's the right one. But one thing's for sure, Drake is making us think, making us question what we want from artists and from hip-hop itself.
Okay, so we've looked at this freestyle from every angle, the technical stuff, the arguments, what it could mean for Drake's career.
Yeah, and even how it ties into bigger trends in hip-hop, how the whole genre is always changing.
It's a lot, but I think it comes down to this.
Mm-hmm.
Is Drake at a crossroads? Is this freestyle a sign of something new or just a one-off?
I think it could be either, and that's what's exciting. Let's say he goes all in on this relaxed style, focusing on being relatable.
Right, connecting with fans who care more about the vibe than the wordplay.
Exactly. He'd be playing to his strengths as a hit maker, someone who writes songs that really hit you in the feels.
But there's risk there too.
Right.
Right. If he keeps doing this, the people who loved his innovation might get bored.
It is that tightrope walk we talked about. Stay fresh, but don't lose your core audience.
Right. Balance the hits with the artistic growth. Tricky.
Now, the other path, he could push himself creatively, try new sounds, get back to those complex lyrics.
That would shut down the lazy talk for sure, show he's not afraid to experiment. But it might also alienate the fans who like this new Drake.
It's a gamble either way. There's no guarantee of winning, but that's life at the top.
You're on the mountain, but the air's thin up there. Gotta keep climbing or you get lost.
And this is where the whole thing gets really interesting. What do we actually value in an artist? Is it skill, lyrics, popularity, or is it something deeper, something that hits your heart?
It's funny, we've spent all this time breaking down the freestyle, the words, the opinions, but music is about how it makes you feel.
Right. Memories, thoughts, emotions. Maybe that's what Drake's doing with this new direction, getting to something raw, honest, something that connects with us on a different level.
Maybe it's a different kind of brilliance, not about showing off, but capturing a mood, a feeling.
So as we wrap up, think about this. Don't get so focused on the technical stuff that you forget what music really is, how it moves us, connects us.
Maybe that's how we understand Drake's journey. Maybe he's not giving up on his art, he's just changing it up. So what do you think? Where's Drake headed? Lost his touch or a new chapter? Let us know. Hit us up on social media. Keep the conversation going.